What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Mellow Buzz Juke Joint, where there's never a cover and no drink minimum. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm your host, Mike P., and thank you for taking the time to see what the Mellow Buzz is all about and to join me on my personal journey of musical discovery. And to all the returning Mellowheads, thank you for coming back for the continuation of my journey. Last week, we were lucky to have the happiest man alive, Mr. Ivory Joe Hunter. This week, I couldn't be more excited, so please, pull up a seat and get ready to be entertained. This week, we have Mr. Blues himself, Wynonie Harris. Wynonie Anderson was born on August 24th, 1915, to Mally Anderson in Omaha, Nebraska. It's not known who his father is. It's a possibility that it was a Native American by the name of Blue Jay. It wasn't until Wynonie was 5 years old that he had a father figure in his life. His mother married Luther Harris. Luther must have had a significant influence on Wynonie, since he had took his last name. He had an impoverished childhood, however he did find comfort singing in the church choir. By the age of 16, Wynonie had to drop out of high school to find work to help provide for his two children, daughter Mickey and son Wesley. Both children would be raised by their mothers. Wynonie knew he wanted to be an entertainer. He would partner up with Velda Shannon to form a dance team. They'd perform all over North Omaha, and by 1934 would have a regular gig at the Ritz Theater. It was in 1935 Wynonie and Velda were performing at Jim Bell's Harlem nightclub when Wynonie began his journey into singing the blues. He also started traveling to Kansas City to hear the blues shouters. Blues shouters were singers who had to sing extra loud so as to not be drowned out by the large backing bands. Wynonie's biggest influences were Jimmy Rushing and Big Joe Turner. Also, in 1935, Wynonie started dating Olive Goodloe of Council Bluffs, Iowa. Olive would come to Omaha to watch Wynonie perform. On May 20th, 1936, Olive gave birth to Adriana Patricia, Wynonie's third child. And on December 11th, 1936, Wynonie and Olive would get married. They would move to the Logan Fontella Projects in North Omaha. Wynonie would continue to sing in local clubs and work the occasional odd job, and Olive would work as a barmaid, eventually becoming a nurse. In 1940, Wynonie and Olive packed up and moved to Los Angeles, leaving their daughter behind to live with Wynonie's mother. He was able to find plenty of work in the clubs along Central Avenue, singing and emceeing. It was at Club Alabama, owned by Curtis Mosby, where Wynonie made a name for himself as a blues caller, getting the nickname of Mr. Blues. Due to the musicians' strike from 1942 to 1944, Wynonie wasn't able to get into the recording studio, so he did what every musician must do and hit the road. He would hook up with Jay McShann's band in Kansas City for a short time. It was his time at the Rum Boogie Club in Chicago where he met bandleader Lucky Millinder. Lucky was impressed with Wynonie's calling, and in March of 1944 hired him to sing with his band. In April of 1944, Wynonie made his debut at the famed Apollo Theater. This is where he performed Who Threw the Whiskey in the Well for the first time. It went over the crowd big time. Soon after the Apollo appearance, Wynonie and the band would take up residency at Harlem's Savoy Ballroom. On May 26, 1944, Wynonie would finally get into the recording studio. Decca would invite Lucky and his band to record 5 songs. Wynonie would get to sing on 2 of them, Hurry Hurry and Who Threw Whiskey in the Well. Due to the wartime embargo still placed on the shellac needed to make the records, it delayed their release. It wasn't until April 1945 that Decca released Who Threw Whiskey in the Well. It was a smash hit, peaking at number 1 on the R&B charts and remaining there for 8 weeks. In total, Who Threw Whiskey in the Well stayed on the charts for a whopping 5 months, permeating the white market. While playing at the club in San Antonio in 1945, Wynonie and Lucky had a dispute over money. Wynonie had become quite a force behind the microphone, and he felt he was the driving force behind the band, and wanted to be paid $100 a night. Lucky refused to pay, so Wynonie quit the band. Since it was Lucky who was signed to Decca, Wynonie was free to sign with any label he pleased. Wynonie's debut as a solo artist came in July of 1945 when he signed with LA-based Philo Records. His first single, Around the Clock, Part 1 and 2, was released on August 1945. And just 1 month later, Wynonie signed with Apollo Records. His first of 2 semi-hits, Wynonie's Blues, was released in October of 1945, and his second, Playful Baby, was released in June of 1946. Neither were chart toppers he was looking for. Nevertheless, he made people more aware of who he was. He would also record with Aladdin and Hamptone sporadically through the mid-1940s without success. It wasn't until he signed with King Records in 1947 that he really exploded on the scene. His hugely successful hit, Good Rockin' Tonight, was released in March of 1948, selling 500,000 records within the first week. Wynonie would constantly be a force on the national R&B charts, charting 13 songs through 1952, each one getting more suggestive. He would focus on women and booze, with the release of Quiet Whiskey, I Like My Baby's Pudding, and the most associated song, Bloodshot Eyes. And just like that, his hits stopped coming. Wynonie would release music with King through 1957, along with releases from Atco and Roulette with zero success. He moved back to LA, leaving the lavish lifestyle he grew familiar with behind. Wynonie would pick up local gigs from time to time, but nothing like his post-war popularity. His last major performance would be at the Apollo Theater in November of 1967, where he got to perform with his idol, Big Joe Turner. Sadly, Wynonie Harris died of throat cancer on June 14, 1969, at the age of 53. Let's take a moment and celebrate the life of one of the best blues callers and listen to Mr. Blues Is Coming to Town.
I like my baby's pudding. I like it best of all. I like my baby's pudding. I like it best of all. 99 times I've tried.
Hey boys, did you hear that noise? Did you hear that thunder sound? Say boys, do you know that noise?
Well, Mr. Blues is coming to town. Get your business straight. Mr. Blues is coming to town. Get your business straight. Mr. Blues is coming to town. You've got to stop that jive that you've been putting down. I might come by plane, might come by train, might grab a boat and sail. So don't be surprised if you open your eyes and find me in your morning's mail. Get your business straight, Mr. Blues is coming to town. Honk my horn like I did before. If I catch a cat sneaking out the back, I'm gonna run over him with my Cadillac. Get your business straight, Mr. Blues is coming to town. Out the telephone. I'm gonna lock all the doors, snatch out the telephone. So Mr. Blues and his baby can have the house all alone. Well, Mr. Blues is coming. Yes, I'm coming to town. Mr. Blues is coming. Yes, I'm coming to town. Get your business straight. Stop your fooling around. Well, Mr. Blues is coming. Baby, I'm on my way. You know you got to see me one of these old rainy days. So get your business straight. Get your business straight today.
That was Wynonie Harris. And Mr. Blues is coming to town. Boy, could he wail. Something about his voice really captivated me. Could also hear a bit of a swing influence in him, which I dug big time. Again, this will be somebody I add to my playlist, both here online and my personal playlist to listen at a later date. Hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And always leave me a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. Or suggest another artist. Be more than happy to go through my dad's collection and see if him, her, or the band is there. And feature them on a future episode. So everybody take care. Have a great day. This is the Mellow Buzz. I'm Mike P. And thank you.